happens right from the top when a policy is designed or made. So even that is flawed. It starts from there. So there are also those people sitting there and taking decisions that like any other person, right? They also have their shortcuts and certain things that are designed, they are not safe at all. So once the infrastructure is wrong, and then we, the road users, we have to travel on that. So we think if something wrong happened with Harman, that's something to do with his old karmas or something, and this not happen to me. The justification given is that I've been driving for 20 years or 15 years. I never had a crash, and I've been over speeding and indulging in drink driving or whatever. So, but it's just one incident that takes place. So we normally think it won't happen to me. So that's one of the reasons. It again comes to the same thing that I have personally experienced, but when I share my own experience, people say, okay, must have happened to you. But when there is a seat belt, it's provided, you have paid for it, so why don't you wear it? Yes, I had my fair share of these awards and other things, but the awards and recognitions, most of them are from international agencies, or I'll just give an example that there's a prestigious award called Prince Michael International Award on Road Safety. That's given by a London-based organization, and secondly, the Swedish Embassy and Volvo, the vehicle manufacturing company. So they have their annual award, and third is Kevin Caird Ability Foundation, that's based out of Chennai. They call it Ability Foundation because it's only for the people with some visible disability. Because see, we people because one can quickly see that somebody is sitting in a wheelchair or cannot move properly, he's tagged as disabled. But when I sit in the wheelchair and I can find many people who I feel are mentally disabled, but technically they are okay. But coming back to the awards, most of these recognitions and awards, they have been from international agencies, and the departments, the Indian government, and I should not be saying the Indian government, but the government agencies and the officers, they are reluctant to bring me on the dais and give me some award or something, because at times it is said that whatever I am doing is against the government, because it's the government which is allowing the liquor shops on the highways. It started, the first petition that we filed, that was in 2012 in the Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. So the court ordered that liquor vends should neither be visible nor accessible from the highways. So it was a very simple order in 4 words. But the first thing that was done by the state governments, both Punjab and Haryana, that they turned the sale counter to the other side. So the structure or the shop remained at the same place. So they said now it's neither visible nor accessible. So that was a smart move by the people who work hard to clear the IAS exams. So after that we had to again move the court and show them these examples, that it's all over the highways that the liquor shops are again at the same place. But the state attorneys, they were trying to justify that now they are as per the court orders. But over the period, an order came that they should be moved 500 meters away from the highways. And then came the big trick that they made sure that all the licenses got cancelled. You can say a couple of judges versus thousands of public servants working hard to defeat the order. The word ban was not coined by us, it's not in the petition. It's just that they should not be there on the highway. But because ban gives a negative impression, that's why I'm kind of clarifying this. And after the Honorable Supreme Court said that liquor shops can operate in the municipal corporation areas or any local area body, so in states of Punjab and Haryana especially, or for that matter any other place, with the increase of population, the municipal councils or the corporations, they're just touching each other. So you start from Chandigarh to Delhi, so every 20 kilometers you'll come across a town or a city. So with that, the entire business came back on the highways. So we again moved the High Court, and we said with a request or plea that they should seek the necessary mandatory permissions to operate on the highways, because for any business to operate on the highways, they have to take permission from the National Highway Authority of India, which develops the highways and the roads. So now the court has given this direction. The NHAI had given notice to more than 250 liquor vends on National Highway 1 and a few other highways. But after giving that notice of 7 days, they have not taken any action on the ground. So as per the Control of National Highways, Land and Traffic Act, the NHAI is supposed to demolish or remove any such structure which is on the highway without any permission. But they are not doing that. The youth of the country, they are the real power. If you see today's newspaper, the front news in the Tribune is that two 10th class students had written to the worthy governor that the roundabout should not be moved in the Chandigarh city environment. So I'm really thankful to those students and to the administration that they at least heard the request of the students, and now those roundabouts would stay. And whatever they had mentioned, that made a lot of sense. People like us had been talking about this, but that was not acknowledged and no action was taken. So it just shows that what students can do, the people sitting in power or the seniors, they cannot. So then they are the ones who can demand change and they can bring change. And it is always, if you try to go through the history, it's the movements by the students that have improved the situations of many nations. And I am really hopeful that this would happen for this particular issue also. See, two things. First part is that if we can go back to 1996 when my life changed, my strength came from my parents and a few friends that I have. So I can call only those people as friends. And it actually it comes from the parents. So I'm recently in October last year I lost my father, but I'm still keeping his glasses on my table. Right? This is kind of because he used to be sitting here and reminding me to continue my work. He never liked me to go out of this place. So I'm just keeping this here to remind me that okay, go ahead. So that's probably the biggest boost. Satyamev Jayate program that was anchored by the superstar Amir Khan. Right? The name says Satyamev Jayate, which means the victory of truth. And he had been using the Ashok Chakra as an amended version of the Ashok Chakra, which is a violation of the Act and the rules. Secondly, a program was done on road safety in which he narrated a particular incident that took place in Delhi, in which, as told in the program, that there were 4 foreigners traveling in a car, and the car hit a truck, and iron rods pierced through the bodies of all those 4 people. And an NGO which had trained the police and the ambulance staff. So as per the training provided by them, all those 4 people were saved. And then came the second part of the Satyamev Jayate. He gave a check of rupees 1 crore to that representative of the NGO, and then a message started flashing on the screen that people should financially support this NGO for the good work they are doing. And that marketing kept going on for nearly 2 weeks till they came up with another such program and issue and a particular agency. So that's what I observed, and then I tried to find out about that particular incident which was narrated there. So I took information from the police department, from the CATS, which is the ambulance department of Delhi, and third, the fire brigade department. So that incident did take place. Only 1 person was injured, and out of the entire staff that managed to save that person, none of them had ever interacted with that NGO. So that's what, really gave me a bad feeling about the program, that they are using part of Satyamev Jayate, which means truth, it's the victory of the truth or something, and under that they are having a bag full of lies being projected in a very different manner. But when we talk about celebrities, so-called celebrities and stars, we are unable to digest that they would do something wrong. A difficult question, but the answer is yes, because as I was telling initially that we have been going uphill and all that, and as a youngster, like any other youngster, during many of our trips uphill, we used to have drinks and then drive back. So technically, if we say that we were going up, coming down safe and sound, so drink driving is not a problem at all. It can be implied that way, but I had been doing that, which was wrong, and I would not recommend that at all because of various reasons. It's not just my own example, it's something which is scientifically proven. So I'm not against the business. It's just one simple thing as of now, that there should not be availability on the highways and people should drive when they are in sane mode. Because when we talk about drink driving, we just think about 2 kind of road users. One is a car user, and second is probably a truck or bus driver. We never ever think of a cyclist or a 2-wheeler or a 3-wheeler driver, because normally what happens is, let's say there's a factory on the side of the road and there's a small liquor shop next to it. I am a factory worker, so I come to the factory on a cycle. I come out of the factory at 5, I go to the thika, I gulp down a quarter of the bottle, and then I come onto the road, right? Because my balance is not right, I probably get hit by a car, and the car driver flees from the spot. I, as that cyclist, probably die or get a severe injury, and the entire family of that factory worker suffers, because if the kids are going to the school, because of his income, they cannot go there anymore. So it's a huge psychological and economic cycle which gets affected. And unfortunately, while all this, the news was coming about how the jobs are being lost due to the so-called liquor ban on the highways, nobody touched this vital point.